Hello, and welcome to our Christmas time special. Usually we are making every Wings of Fire dragon in alphabetical order in this series. However, today the name of the challenge is Too Many Caribous. Yep, there's a bunch of dragons in Wings of Fire, all named Caribou, and we are making them right now. It is, of course, the height of a boiling Australian summer right now, so some icy vibes are desperately needed for me. But first, a lesson in Wings of Fire dragon history. As shown in the Guide to the Dragon World, in the Icewing section of the books, thousands of years ago in the Ice Kingdom there was an animus princess by the name of Caribou who, at the advice of her trusted friend Snowstorm, visited the villages of lesser-born Icewings and was moved by their suffering. All Icewings live under a classist social hierarchy, although she did not think to dismantle the oppressive system of birthright, but she did give them a nice new seal hole to pull a seal out of. It's called the Gift of Subsistence, and it's 3 holes carved into the ice that are enchanted in such a way that when a dragon puts their claws in, they always catch a seal. I have pondered long and hard over the exact nature of this enchantment, but have not come to any conclusions. Does the hole materialize a seal? Does it generate a whole live seal directly into the dragon's claws? Or does it attract a seal which already exists who is predisposed to give up on life towards the hole where it will be caught and eaten? How far can it attract seals from? Are all the seals this down about their prospects in life that they want to be eaten? Is the seal actually alive or just a piece of meat with no life which was created for the purpose of dragon consumption? Horror themes in this dragon fantasy series. Whatever it is exactly, it caused all the Icewings in the lower circles to get their party on and really love Princess Caribou and her advisor Snowstorm. So much that they just named a bunch of their kids after her, and there are like a bajillion Caribous running around the Ice Kingdom. Oh, and a bunch of them are called Snowstorm too. So really, I guess the name of the game is Too Many Caribous and Snowstorms, but whatever. Now, dearest audience, when I reach into this sack of presents for the presentation, a random Icewing with uncreative parents will be selected and shown to you. That's right, this is another video where I'm breaking out the tried and true method of video production known as forced manual labor. You didn't think you were safe for the holidays, did you? Go, my little elves. Although, I do suppose being generous is in the name of the season. So let's give some gifts that aren't the gentle sting of my whip on the backs of my collaborators. I can't animus enchant anything for you since Darkstalker is not cooperating with me on account of the fact I turned him into a marketable plushie, but I can give regular gifts. In celebration of Christmas, I will be giving away 2 packs of 3 mystery keychains of my designs to 2 different people. And the grand prize of this Christmas giveaway is Advisor Snowstorm. I will elaborate more on this later with how to enter and everything at the end of the video. No rush. I won't be drawing the winners until the 1st of January for New Year's. Let's go! Ooh, our first Icewing is Caribou! Shocker! This one is made by Prizma of Prizma's Plushies. Their social medias are in the description. Go and check out all our collaborators, by the way. Their social medias of choice are all linked in order of appearance.
You'll never guess what her name is. Caribou. She's a fan of festivities, a savorer of celebrations, an avid enjoyer of exploration and adventure. She travels anywhere she hasn't been. Not one to care about status, she is carefree and kind to those who differ from her and exchanges goods with those she meets. She finds enjoyment in the mundane aspects of a dragon's life, like flying as high as she can into a clear blue sky or eating different types of salmon. She likes to scare naughty dragonettes who give their parents a hard time, and bear gifts to those who are kind. Since she is outside of the Ice Kingdom so often, she is a little more tolerant of warmer temperatures, but her frost breath is a little weaker. For the plushie itself, it has wing armature to look cool and assure portability. With the design of Caribou, it was fun to see it all come together. The spikes caused me great pain, but it was worth it. The tips of the spikes and other details are done with fabric alcohol inks. This was a fun pattern to design overall, and I'm glad I got to participate in this collab. Happy holidays, y'all!
I didn't really think Icewing plushies emerging from the darkness would be so menacing, but there you go. Ooh, and we've got another one in here. In fact, we've got a lot, but here it is. We have a double feature with 2 Caribous and 2 Snowstorms. All of them were made by CraveCreatures, who you should go follow.
This is Caribou, a dragon of few words. She's a shy, reserved ice sculptor and a secret animus of long-lost royal descent. Her pristine white spikes and the gradient along her tail are a physical manifestation of her powers, as none of her close relatives have even a speck of pure white on them. She herself doesn't know that she has magical powers, and instead her magic works with her will. Because she is a pure, tender-hearted dragon, there is no strain or damage caused to her soul. Caribou likes to speak through her sculptures, similar to how Thoughtful of the Nightwings had hidden meanings in his glass sculptures, and she's learned how to focus her ice breath and use it on her sculptures to achieve her unique sculpting style. She met her best friend and beloved Snowstorm through a sculpture show. Snowstorm's family is only a couple generations out of the 7 circles, so he has a lot more white than most of his fellow village members. He is a curious, fun-loving dragon who loves puzzle solving and looking into the meanings of things. When he saw Caribou's sculptures, he was able to see that the quiet dragon actually had quite the voice if one had the eyes and ears to listen to it. He was able to gain her trust and her love. She'd had his the moment he met her. He is the only one who knows of her animus magic, and he acts as a secret guardian of sorts because he doesn't want the royal family to find out and take her away from him and their young family.
It's also the perfect time to include their jingling. There will be a lot of bells in this challenge, be prepared. And now for the next offering. Oh, and this one is named Caribou. Very creative. She was made by Sunnypopfeline, whose socials are linked in the description. Caribou was born in a village a bit far from the Icewing Castle, and she dreamt of something bigger to achieve in her life. Most Icewings would be fighters, some would be council members, with a chance to marry into the royal family. Caribou's family always shared their cooking with their village. Seeing the smile on other dragons' faces was always a joy. A single piece of a good meal would bring love and humility to their hearts. Caribou thought to go to the castle to see if she could learn more food traditions or how to perfect a dish, but it seems one does not just enter inside. There are customs forms. You need to study basics to even enter the higher classes, and quarantine paperwork. Thanks, Darkstalker. Caribou scrapped that plan and searched outside her homeland. Luckily, setting up a travelling food shop got the attention of one queen, Queen Coral, who arranged to meet Caribou and requested she make the sweetest treat she can. Caribou baked her mother's recipe, Caramel Slice, taking each step with the absolute care. She presented it to the queen and her daughter, Princess Auklet. They loved it, but maybe Auklet liked it a little too much. That child will be bouncing off the walls for days. Caribou took a portrait with Queen Coral to show her family what she achieved. With the Queen's blessings, she became the chef of the sea. She even hosts a live cooking show, building and baking a chocolate cabin for the holidays. This time, it is Caribou's own recipe that she made. I do appreciate a chef Caribou, although I wish she could help me with my gingerbread house. It's a struggle. Anyways, now for the next subject, from the mystery bag. Oh, what do you know? This one's name is Caribou. That's so cool. They were made by Rararou, whose socials are once again linked below. Caribou was born blind, and thus it was assumed that she would live a hard but unassuming life. However, she made it her mission to never live a moment without doing something. She spends her time crocheting incredibly detailed garments that have even ended up being worn outside of the remote village she calls home. She views her claws as the most important part of herself and thus wraps them up in detailed designs to keep them in their prime. She's stubborn and unwavering. She has to be taken care of by a new dragon every day due to not many getting along with her personality. But to those who stay, her determination is that of legends. I love a good blind dragon, and I hope we get more from them in canon. But now, for our next one. This time, as I'm reaching around, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess their name. If you didn't get it right, I have my concerns. It's Caribou, and this Caribou is made by Racingwolf, whose socials are... You get 1 second to guess it this time.
Caribou grew up in the village of the Plentiful Seals. She briefly served in the War of Sandwing Succession, but was discharged after a head injury that still affects her balance and can make it difficult to fly. She prefers a quiet, peaceful life and tends to keep to herself, but is fiercely loyal to those few dragons close to her. She greatly enjoys reading and art, and often paints storms or icy landscapes. She also loves to swim in the cold waters and finds it greatly relaxing. Though she can't dive anywhere near as deep as the sea wings, she likes to imagine she could. There is an adventurous side to her that wants to see more of the world far beyond her home. But ultimately, she always finds herself more comfortable in her village and home around things and dragons she knows and is familiar with. Still, a part of her is still drawn to the new and the unknown.
I think this is our largest caribou. A seriously sizable one, very respectable indeed. Next, we have another two-fur, actually, both a snowstorm and a caribou, made by Orbweaver the Hivewing. Caribou is a fun-loving dragon and the younger sister of Snowstorm. Caribou attends Jade Mountain Academy with her best friend, a skywing named Elk. Snowstorm is a hard-working postal dragon. He races around the tundra all day pulling his sleigh. Most dragons use their wings to get around, but during his time fighting in the war, he was injured and can no longer fly for long periods. Caribou and Snowstorm spend most of their downtime together, and Caribou's favourite thing is to ride in her brother's sleigh. We've got doubly uncreative Icewing parents here. What can I even say? And our next plushie, wait for it, is Caribou. This one was made by Beetle Makes.
Caribou is a major general in the Icewing army. She had to work her way up from being a low-ranking soldier, eventually making it to general. She fought in so many battles that everybody who knows her is shocked that she survived the war. Caribou is covered in scars from all the battles that she's fought. She lost an eye to a well-timed scratch, and she's been hit by a sandwing tail. She only survived because Blaze knew what cactus to use to cure the venom. Caribou was also at the battle above Jade Mountain. Caribou was infected with Darkstalker's plague and nearly died. She was saved by Keebly's earring in the nick of time. Caribou is revered by all the Icewings in the army and is greatly respected by Snowfall. She goes to Caribou for advice occasionally. Caribou wants to be left alone most of the time now. She is scarred both physically and mentally by the war, although she doesn't show it to those around her.
A fierce caribou. We've had a lot of, chill, don't mind the pun, caribous in this vid. Next up we have a very interesting dragon, amazingly named Caribou and made by Lunaden. One of many dragons named after Princess Caribou, this Icewing, who prefers to go by Boo, has made her life her own. As with most dragons sharing her name, Boo's family come from outside of the top 2 circles of the elite. Her parents placed in the 4th circle with other artisans from whom their daughter learned her craft. As a dragonette, Boo gained skills with ice carving and stonework to make jewelry and sun catchers, aiding in her securing a spot in the 3rd circle by her 7th hatching day. In the following years, she travelled across Pyria as a trades dragon, selling her wares and earning a high respect, near reverence with the Skywings for her sun catchers. As with the Seawings for exotic jewelry pieces featuring shells and unusual gems. All of Boo's accessories have been received in trade for her art. After 35 days, she has an extensive collection, and she has seen 3 Icewing Queens on the throne in her lifetime. Recently, she has been offered an invitation by Queen Snowfall to become an advisor for expanding Icewing artistry and culture with influence from other tribes for future generations. Oh wow, now several generations down the line we have Advisor Caribou. What's next? Princess Snowstorm? Next up is, I forget what this one is called. Let me check. Oh, it's Carla. No, Caribou. Here we go. This one was made by Cinnabunny.
Meet Caribou. Caribou is an Icewing who really loves ice cream, so much that she opened her very own ice cream parlor called Caribou's Creamery. Her favorite hobby is experimenting with different flavors and combinations of ice cream. She's very cheery, friendly, and extroverted to the point where other Icewings may find her a bit annoying, but that doesn't really bother her. She also really loves meeting new customers and serving them her ice cream. And even if they won't admit it, Caribou knows that some of the upper-class Icewings enjoy her ice cream and secretly buy it from her. Her dream is to expand her business and share her ice cream to the other tribes. Caribou's design is heavily inspired by Starcatcher, a character from G3 of My Little Pony.
Our chillest caribou, no doubt. Oh, and it seems there's definitely one more in here. Wow, it's really at the bottom of the bag. Got it? Oh, it's me! Well, I only put my name in here as a show of solidarity with my dragon sweatshop workers. I guess fair is fair, though. Aren't I in a good mood this collab? Look at that! I haven't even whipped them that much. Let's start with our Princess Caribou. Princess Caribou is given scant details in canon and 0 description, so I have gone completely wild. My Princess Caribou is an albino icewing, which, although icewings are already white, is a thing that can happen to nearly any animal when it's not paired with a dangerous gene. Albinism occurs when an animal's melanin production is mutated or inhibited, resulting in white skin, white hair, white scales, and pale eyes, usually red or pink, due to blood vessels showing through the eyes. But not always. Although Princess Caribou doesn't appear too different from her peers, her eyes are unusual, and had been a point of gossip before her mother, the Queen, sent an entire family of the aristocracy to the frigid sea bordering the Ice Kingdom to live in and guard one of the watchtowers there, which quickly dispelled any rumours about Caribou's heritage or status as a princess, or at least forced them to be whispered very secretively, lest they face the wrath of the Queen. Caribou rapidly ingratiated herself with the Icewing nobility. She was polite and likable, and she would deliver the Icewing royalty a gift of magic when she came of age, for she was an animus. Although, with her pale eyes being the way that they are, she has a higher sensitivity to light and poor vision, making her a terrible hunter in the snow of the Ice Kingdom, as the glare of the sun is far too much for her. As such, she prefers to stay within the Ice Palace, although that doesn't stop her from occasionally running into icewings in the palace, whose scales are so close to the surroundings that she can hardly see them. Because of this, she goes flying to stretch her wings at odd hours of the night, as the light is far less intense, and there are no other icewings for her to bump into. However, this weird late-night timing doesn't stop her from running into Snowstorm. Snowstorm was born in the outer villages of the Ice Kingdom and competed in a test of skill and knowledge in the palace's school. His study won him a position amongst nobility, albeit at the bottom. His ambition was to become a royal advisor, although he was stuck running meaningless errands for the distant cousin of the Queen. And it was one night when he was returning from beyond the palace's walls with a piece of walrus flesh for his majesty that he absent-mindedly collided with Princess Caribou mid-flight. They landed together in the powdery snow, and after awkwardly apologizing to one another, they began a lifelong friendship. The pair spent many nights flying together to unwind from their demanding positions. Snowstorm took to wearing loops of bells when they were out together, so Caribou always knew what direction he was in by sound, which Caribou found extremely amusing. And since Snowstorm can see, she took to wearing bright red horn covers with a woolen tip, which she made herself, so that Snowstorm could also find her easily in a crowd. When Caribou grew more into her role as a princess, she ordered that Snowstorm be her new advisor, and he was transferred to being by her side. Snowstorm was grateful to her and finally felt as if he could speak and be listened to after so much time struggling through the system of blood merit which oppressed even the most brilliant-minded icewings in the outer villages. He took Caribou to the villages of his birth, far from the palace where she lived, to see how life was for non-royal icewings. Together they came up with the gift of subsistence, and together they stood against the scorn and disdain of the other royals, who were offended Caribou didn't do something for them. But Snowstorm understood its importance, and although he had no magic to gift the princess who had changed his life, he traded for glass from the Sky Kingdom and carved smoky quartz until he had fashioned a pair of glasses, which when indoors could be used to improve Caribou's eyesight. But when she needed to go out in the day, as her duties as a princess more frequently began to demand, the quartz lenses could be inserted into the frames in order to dull the glare of the sun off snow. So now we're done. Many caribous have been shown today. There are far more out there in the world, I'm sure, as well as many snowstorms. Which brings me to our giveaway. There will be a list made with 3 present winners to whom I will deliver gifts of dragons. 2 groups of 3 keychains. I say they are mysteries, but that's because you get to pick what they are if you win. Comment on this video that you're entering the giveaway and include your 3 dragons who you would choose to have as keychains. I have made drawings of Clay, Tsunami, Glory, Starflight, Sunny, Moonwatcher, Winter, Peril, Turtle, Kibbley, Kinkajou, an extra large Darkstalker, Clear Sight, Whiteout, Fathom, Indigo and Blob, Blue Cricket, Sundew with an attached Bumblebee, Snowfall, Lynx, Luna, Sawtail, and Queen Coral with an anemone to go with her. All the protagonists from Arc 1 through 3, really. This is your longish segment of name listing for the video since I didn't recap the previous plushies in the intro. Anyways, the grand prize winner will receive their 3 keychains of choice as well as this jingly floppy plushie of Advisor Snowstorm, and may he guide you down a bright path in life. From wherever he winds up. This giveaway is open to my international viewers outside of Australia, and the winners will be announced January 1st, or thereabouts, for a New Year's gift giving. And now, a present for somebody else on my list. And let me say that my list is far worse than Santa's. It's Whirlpool. His gift today is to be the gift. Wrapped in suffocating wrapping paper, he will be placed amongst my family's, semi-abstract present sculptures, which keep the best present guesses from knowing what they will receive. Except for some of them, they're obviously underpants. Anyways, Whirlpool will be mummified, but only to have his wrapping paper brutally torn away, exposing him to yet more horrors. For who is he being delivered to? Pain. I'm unleashing every floppy plushie I have upon him. The fury of 1,000 beans and a multitude of squeakers is let free, and there is nothing he can do about it. Thank you to my Whirlpool Hate Club members who have locked Whirlpool in perpetual agony since its inception. The Wait Zaranek Fluffle, Phoenix Fire, Ninja Kitty Awakens, and Bird Yeggling. Yeah, okay. Well, that concludes this video. Once again, a very normal one, regular activities being performed. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my beloved fellow artists for your work writing stories and making plushies to show everyone. And thank you to my viewers in advance for showing my friends and collaborators some love. A big shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you so much for your generosity. Here's a warning for a speed paint about to start. Okay, thank you and happy holidays. A frosty wet dragon kiss to all of my Patreon members. Kimber, 88 Stream 1409, Kit, Samuel Sanchez, Mono Deer, Aninka Lamasson, Grey, Phoenix Fire, I Like the Dumb Bunny Shrimp, Fennec is Here, Trooper Cat, Poppy Willow, Indigo, Woilies, Fantasy, The Starving Child, Ninja Kitty Awakens, Lime Sharks, Caroline T, Copa, I Love My Fuzzy Kitten, Vanessa and Anara Burrows, Vela, Rhythm the Raptor, Aliana, T Copper Silver, Miffy, Victoria Toucan, Racing Wolf, Grey Malcolm, Gatto Catamoose, 8-Bit Beetle, Anonymous Running Dragon, Danger Noodles Are Cool, Aaron Donahue, Carol, Murder Mellow, 206, Silly Rabbit, 87, Celeste Tazza, Gordon Young, Snow U1, Amaya Barrios, Stuffed Tails Fursuits, Connie, Tori, Nix, Hazel Williams, Kitty Kitty, Keegan Evans, B, Quinn, Crafty 6809, Alex Allen, The Christmas Lady, Acariel, Bird Yeggling, and The Creatures Burrow.